Warning! What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Ladies and gentlemen, dorks and dweebs, nerds of all ages, GeekPod Network Productions is proud to bring to you the most electrifying middle-aged guys in Syracuse, the Doctor, Hugh Allen, the Pod Whore, Paul Showens. Alone, they are single geek beacons in a dark cop drama world. But when the mics go hot, they are GeekPod. God bless me!
And I think that is the perfect starting point for the show. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of GeekPod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
I'm Corbs.
I'm Kevin.
Kev's back. I love the fact that Corbs didn't even bother to look up when he did his introduction. He just like, yeah, I'm here. What do you want?
To be lucky I'm fucking awake right now. Okay?
You've had a big week, man.
I did.
Yeah.
Really ass week, man. Don't get me getting started with that shit.
Oh boy.
5:30 in the morning. I'm awake.
Yeah.
That's after a year of not waking up.
Like ever. Just he was been in bed for the last year.
So yeah, I'm up at 5:30, out of the house at 6:10, and then work at 6:30. I'm there till 4, Monday through Thursday. Today I got out at 2:30, so nice. I get out early on Friday, so
Yeah, that is nice.
So I don't know how long it's going to be going on for. So once my hours actually start, then there's a shift where I would get out on Fridays early. So, but I don't know if that shift's going to be mine or if it's going to be somebody else's. So.
Right, you're the new guy, so you get the like late shift on Fridays.
Well, I mean, it's late shift. It's like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It's not late.
Right.
We have an office in Arizona that handles all the stuff out that way. So I don't have to handle it on the West Coast, and then we got a office in the Central that handles everything in there. So we handle just the East Coast, and then we handle a few things on the West Coast and in Central first thing in the morning. So
that's good times.
So, but I've touched my computer once in a week.
Was that just to slide it over so the other guy could?
No, that was just to put it all together.
And then you're just on monitor duty basically for now.
Yeah, that's all I did all week was sit around and monitor. So listen in on some phone calls and stuff like that. I don't have any access. Like I can't even, there's like learning stuff that I gotta do, no access to it.
Oh, that's fun. They don't trust you yet.
Well, I mean, they were saying I was talking to my boss and my boss's boss, about the learning stuff. And yeah, so the guy that I'm training with is Jim, that's my boss, and then his boss is Crystal. Those are the two I interviewed with, along with Eric, who's like same level as Crystal. So I was talking to Crystal today about my access. I'm like, I've been a week. I haven't touched anything. I haven't done even. The only thing I did was did some work on Jim's computer on Wednesday. That was Wednesday, and since Wednesday I haven't touched the computer. Now, there's a reason behind it. So
right. It makes sense. I mean, they've got to.
Well, it's more of a personal reason for somebody at the office. So.
Okay.
It's off mic talk. So
definitely, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and say there hasn't been a whole lot of Valhalla being played this week.
I played a little bit, not too much though.
Yeah, no, I haven't even been able to touch it. I've done no gaming this week.
Slackers.
I'm in was it Yorkville, whatever the hell that place is, a little freaking like town in the north. It's like Yorvik or some shit like that. I just finished up there. You got to go and meet Hoofer.
Huffer?
He's the guy. He's the guy that when you go to Finland, or I'm sorry, Vinland, not Finland, Vinland. When you go there, they're the two people that you deal with there on a kind of a. I don't know, Paul. You've been there, right? You haven't been to Finland?
Nope, not yet.
You dumbass.
I skipped over that because whatever the rating was for it, I wasn't there yet. So I continued on with the rest of the stuff in England.
Yeah, so they come back and they go there, and then you meet up with them and kill more people as part of the order and shit like that. So I just finished that. Actually, when you said that we were gonna start at 9:30, I jumped back on and played. I played for a little bit when I got home today because like I said I got home at 2:30, so I was like, oh, whatever, jump on for a little bit. So, but no, I have not played as much as I had been playing.
That whole going back to work thing sucks, right?
Yeah. It's getting involved. It's egging into my gaming time.
You're gonna have to talk to them about that. We can't have that.
No, to bring my system to work and just play at my desk.
There you go.
Hook up to my monitor.
Well, I have played a little bit this week, and I can't remember the name of the town or the area. I'm in the upper left. I think I'm the second to last land region. Not going to go into a whole lot of detail because I know it's ahead of you guys. I did double check my power though. I'm 407 as of right now.
Wow.
And I'm struggling with the last cairns, those fucking rock puzzles. I never throw my controller. I look down at people who throw their controller, but I want to throw my controller. You know what makes it worse? My 9-year-old comes into the room, Daddy, let me try. I might be better at puzzles than you. And just keeps blah, blah. So finally I'm like, here, take it. 5-10 minutes later, she's like, I don't even understand how to move these things. And I'm just like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Oh my God, it just drives me nuts. I'm even looking up things online. Videos like how people are stacking these fucking rocks, and it just in real life I could probably do this, but it would in a place where you have limited views and you can't really see what you need to see and feel. There's no tactile feel there. It's so hard. So I actually skipped it and just went on. I did beat all 3 Sisters of Lyrion yesterday because I hadn't messed. I don't know if you guys have run into them yet. The witches. Okay, yeah, you'll know because they'll whoop your ass really hard.
Are they the ones? Hugh, those are the ones over in like East Angle or whatever.
Yeah, they've got like a fenced off area sort of, and you go and you look at a corpse, and then they appear behind. Yeah, okay.
I got 2 out of 3. I haven't gone back to the third one.
Nice.
Because the third one is a 340 power, and I tried to go after her with like 280 or something like that, and she, like you said, she fucking whooped my ass. Like I don't think I even took off any hit points off of her. So, but I'm at a 331 right now, so I'm close to maybe heading back over there. So.
Yeah, it was a huge difference because I first ran across them low level, ass kicked, like not going back there for a while. Came back when I was in the 200s, still got my ass kicked. And then yesterday I beat all 3 of them within 20 minutes without even having to use a single ration.
Nice.
So I mean, clearly, my skills have progressed over time. But it was a huge difference. To continue with the gaming thing, and I don't want to take up too much time here, but you guys, I don't think I've had a chance to talk about my PS5 yet. Last time we talked, it was coming, right?
Yes, it hadn't arrived yet.
Well, I just want to say, if you get one, there's a game that comes on it. Okay, it's called Astro's Playroom, and it's designed to show off all the new things that the new DualSense controller does, and it is really friggin' cool. I don't know if you know this, but they have the triggers on the new pads. Sometimes you might hit it and it'll just go down. Other times it'll have resistance. Sometimes it'll actually go down a little and then click like a trigger. I don't know what they're doing in there to make those buttons work like that, but it's pretty amazing. And when it's utilized, like in Astro's Playroom, it's really awesome. And it actually works to a degree in Valhalla if you're playing the PS5 version, because when you hit the button to pull back the bow, it actually has some resistance as you're pulling back.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's really immersive. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty much it, though, for gaming for me. Did you guys get Kevin playing Valhalla?
He was asking questions last week after we got off the mic with that part. But he said by design he doesn't have anything that will play it. So that's
Yeah, the newest console I have is an Xbox 360, and I definitely don't have a PC that can play anything Valhalla or later. But that's on purpose because I'd spend all my time on it.
As we've been doing.
Right.
So like I said, I haven't played anything. Haven't had a chance. Just life's been pretty busy between normal stuff and finishing off my vaccine, which put me on my ass for 2 days. So
That's me tomorrow.
yeah. Let me know within 24 hours after you get it how you're feeling and what your symptoms are, because I just want to compare notes.
Oh, you got your second shot? I saw on Facebook that
Yes.
was your second shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so because my mom goes Easter Sunday for her second shot.
Well, and some people aren't getting anything off of it. Like
Okay.
they'll come out of it and be just fine, but it wiped me out. I was hoping you guys saw my post that I did. Because now that I drew the connection between the fact that I do this with you guys and my regular life on Facebook, I've kind of let a little bit more of GeekPod Paul leak out onto my Facebook.
You're talking about that incredibly modest post that you put out there, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make ssure.
I didn't see it.
All right. So what I did,
supposed to?
I took a picture of my card covered up by my sticker that says I'm vaccinated.
Oh, I did see that.
Yes. The caption for it says, I'm gonna paraphrase because I don't remember exactly how I put it, but it said
It was
something,
something about how awesome you are.
It's what it came down to. It's like it said something about me, a hero. I wouldn't say that about myself. Other people say it about me all the time, but it's not something I'd say about myself.
Wait, are you sure you're not quoting our last president? Because that sounds like something he would say.
I thought you were just joking.
It was a joke.
Oh, I got the joke then.
It was meant to be a joke, yes. And the fact that nobody called me out on the actual quote for what it is, I was a little disappointed, especially since supposedly some people in my circle insist that, it's one of their favorite movies that it's quoted from. And, they love that movie and blah, blah, blah. But no one caught on that was a direct quote from Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sitting there for my 15-minute wait, and I kind of remembered what the line was, but I Googled it to make sure I got the line exactly right and copied and pasted it right in. So that was made just as a tongue firmly in cheek, because you see all these people who are posting that sticker and they're patting themselves on the back because, I'm a heroic American. I'm doing my part. I'm protecting my family. Well, that's all good and fine and stuff, but I mean, really, like, let's bring it down a level.
It's like posting your I voted sticker. They just want to feel like they're part of something.
Yes. And, I look down on anybody that wants to feel good about themselves. So I had to do my part to have a good laugh at everybody, even though I think half the people that saw it didn't get the joke.
They were like, oh, yeah, that's Paul being
Yep.
Paul.
Yeah, look at Paul. Yep. Patting himself on the back. But I completely derailed our gaming topic. Corbs, you got anything else you were playing?
No, I've been at work. I mean, that eats into all my gaming time now.
Stupid work.
Right.
Seriously.
Now, Kevin,
win the lottery.
Right. That's something that needs to be done, and then spread it around enough to the rest of us so we can actually get a studio.
You want me to spend money on this fucking shit?
Yeah,
we have.
Right.
There was money we put into this.
All right. If I win, I'll buy a studio.
Okay. Me too, but I never play. That's the problem. So nobody else. So Kevin, you started something last week, and I want you to continue it. You got a tabletop game you want to talk to us about?
Sure. You know what I forgot to mention last week was a really cool website I use whenever I'm looking at a new game for my little group of people that we get together. It's typically my wife and a few friends. It's called boardgamegeek.com. All one word, Board Game Geek. The guys that run it, the people that run it are they're fanatical, and they have playthrough videos. They have ratings, and it's everything. It's the dice game that I had last week, board games, all the different board games, and all sorts of other stuff, and really great site. So if I didn't talk enough about what Bang was last week, go on there, take a look at how the game plays through, and you'll see exactly why we liked it and had so much fun with it. So this week I've got one. This is one of the first ones we got actually for the game nights we've been having. It's called Castle Panic. Let me show you the box. So this is basically it's a defend the tower game. And what you do is you have multiple players, and you can play it a couple different ways. You can play it so that you get all the points by killing all the monsters. You kill as many as you can, and the more points you have, the better chance you have to win at the end of the game. Or you play cooperatively. If you play cooperatively, and I'll show you the board. If you play cooperatively, then the goal is to keep all of your monsters out of these outer rings from getting into these center rings. And you have these pieces that stand off. You have walls that sit on the outside. You have towers that sit on the inside, and you got to keep your monsters away from them. And the monsters all have hit points, and there's different things. They have more powerful monsters that can boost them or save them or move them. And then you have things like boulders that can roll in from the forest and take out all these little beasties. Great cards that come with this. The cards that you get they're attractive. They're well made. It's a well made game. Now, one of the things that I concentrate on when I get these games is that they have to be relatively easy to learn. Here's some of the tower pieces. I'm going to take one of them out of the bag. They have to be relatively easy to learn, kind of a quick learning curve. And I'm not going to call them super easy, but relatively easy. This is one of the walls. Little piece here, a little stand on it. A neat little piece. Very well built. Very nicely done. So this is one of those games where it seems like there's a lot to it, and it can be because there's actually some expansion packs, and I've gotten those expansion packs. There's a couple of them here. This is one. So you have Engines of War, and I don't know if they're backwards to you, but they're backwards to me. And this one is the Wizard's Tower. So it adds some more cards, adds some more pieces, adds a little bit different play. Makes it a little bit more difficult, if you wanted to. But right out of the box, literally right out of the box, the game was so easy to play that our first time out, we had a great time with it. And like I said, that's an important thing for me. And that's what I use that website for, is to make sure the game is something that any of us can sit down and play. And I've literally had people just stop by on one of our game nights and jump in, and they were able to have a really good time. It didn't take them long to learn, and just had a really great time with it. So Castle Panic, you can find it in the mall. We found it in what the hell's the name of that one store? Read the story, play the game, play the story, read the game. I don't know what the hell it's called. Yeah. Found it there. What I like to do is I like to go there to see what he has. What's that?
I said I still call it Altered States.
Yes.
Isn't that what it used to be?
Yes.
Yep. Back
when it was a comic shop.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. I like to go there, see what they have, kind of see some things that interest me. Read what's on the box. I'm a big fan of if they've taken the time to make the packaging look attractive. I really want to figure out if it's something I like. I'll go back and I'll read about it, go on to Board Game Geek and read a little bit about it, see what they think about it. And then if I like it, I go back there. I don't know the guy that owns it. I don't know any of those people, but I'd rather spend the money locally than, buy the game through Amazon or something like that. So we try to do that. But yeah, Castle Panic, it's a ton of fun. It's three to 6 players, I think you can have on there, something like that. What is it? I don't even know what it says. 1 to 6 players. I don't know how you play it. There's a solitaire version, I guess. Oh,
Is that basically when you're just setting up the pieces and pretending? Like what I do with my G.I. Joes?
Well, I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't play it, one player. I don't know what kind of fun that would be, but why not? Yeah, that's what we have it. We pull it out every now and then, and it was a great purchase. I'm pretty happy about it. Even with the expansion packs, I'll be honest with you. After the expansion packs, I probably got about $100 into this game.
So it can get pricey if you go for it.
That's how much I like it. Well, each pack is $15 to $20. By the time you add every expansion pack, the game itself was, I don't even remember, 30 something, 20, 30 something, whatever it was. But I think it's worth it. I think it's one of those games where, like I said, you can bring just about anybody in and they'd have fun with it. It's a 90 minutes or so, 60 to 90 minute game. And if you're drinking, you can go a little longer.
I mean, that could be something fun to do while we're killing time at a con or something in August.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if we're doing the whole drinking thing.
That one last week though, that's the one for those.
Oh, bang. Yes.
Easy to carry, pull it out, just play it. And for our drinking game, that one's perfect.
Come on, go for it, Corbs. I see it on your face.
It's easy to pull it out.
I was thinking the same thing.
Nope.
Just whip it out.
Just
whip it out and have a great time.
That goes back to being able to play it with one player. All set.
That's even better. You can play with your friends.
Oh no!
Oh, okay.
No.
Listen, it's 2021. That's okay now.
I've shared a bathroom with Paul. There's absolutely no way. Okay, no way.
Everything's covered in hair. That's all I gotta say.
It's just gross having to spend one night in a hotel with you. I'm sorry, man. I love you.
You know what? You're not the first person to say that.
So Paul, you just wear like a sweater? Is that what it is? You got a sweater underneath?
Oh yeah.
Good to know.
I'm not talking about the hair. I mean, I don't care about that. It's the smell.
There's smells. That's especially after an evening of drinking and horrible food.
I mean, I thought I was bad. I actually feel pretty good about how my shit smells now. So
yeah, poops are not good.
I got to ask you, since this is the first time Kevin and I have been in the same room, did you tell him my reaction to him being on the show?
Yes.
Okay, because I did. I wanted to make sure
remember.
when I said hi, Dad, I realized, wait, Paul might not have told him that. That might have come off kind of weird and creepy.
No, I definitely told him about it. I told him it freaked you out.
Yeah, that's fine. I've been called a hell of a lot worse, let me tell you.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
Haven't we all?
Exactly. Now it'll be interesting since board games are your thing, and I can't profess to be an expert in that, but I have a bookshelf that's got Zombie Side, Last Night on Earth, Betrayal at Hill House, a number of games, Munchkin. So we're kind of into that. I have Eldritch Horror, which we just cannot figure out how to play to save our lives.
See, I've encountered a couple of those. A friend of mine bought one. It was a Godzilla game. And to this day, we still can't figure out how to get it started. We've watched videos on playthroughs. We've read back and forth the instructions. We've read a lot of different reviews. And we still can't figure out how to get it started. Now, the problem is we've already been drinking quite a bit before we even try. And I know that. But see, that's the gauge to me, is if you're going to play a game, if you're going to sit down with friends and play a game, it has to be a game that fits into with whatever else you're doing. You can't, alter the evening just to play a game. And if we're just going to sit around and not have a few drinks and laughs and play some music, it's not the game I want to play. So that's really what I found about that Board Game Geek site, is that, okay, yeah, I'm looking at stuff with a difficulty level of 0 to 2 out of a 5 or 6 scale, but it's fun. We have some laughs. Can't beat that.
So what you're saying is all these games I'm going to have difficulty learning.
I didn't say that.
If you're talking about my games, yeah, probably.
No, I'm talking about his 0 to 2.
Okay.
It's just.
I would
You're
never
not-
say
you're not
that
2
to
years
you,
old?
Paul.
I mean, I was there once. I think that's about when I peaked. That's
sad.
It is pretty sad.
I'm charismatic. That's what gets me through life.
Wait till you see the one I got next week. If I'm on
can't
next week. No, I'll say next time I'm on. How about
Right. Look at he's already scheduled himself in to be on permanently now. That's how it is. I'm done. I'm here.
I honestly didn't think I'd be invited back after last week. So there's that.
Seriously,
Yeah.
come on now.
Yeah, he was pretty worried, Corbs. He was texting me and apologizing. I'm like, I didn't even know you were drunk.
Worry about this drinking on this freaking podcast? Seriously.
Yeah, he never knew when Jack was on here, so it's all good.
Your worst case scenario is there's now 2 people in Syracuse that don't like you. And I'm not talking about the host. I'm talking about the 2 listeners. So, don't worry about it.
Our big audience.
Right. And the weird ghost listeners we have in Europe, apparently. That Podbean keeps telling me we have, but yeah.
Love to know.
The very first experience I have with Paul is we went downstairs from the office and across the street to get lunch. And in that place, which no longer exists, it's closed up and it's gone, there was someone in there that knew you, Paul, by your voice from your podcast.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, the head cook. Yeah.
And I want to say it was a relatively attractive woman.
That happens.
You never told
But I
me
don't-
that.
Man, seriously, why are you holding this shit back?
Because I know I portrayed it. Look at it, I'm actually turning red. I
don't even
portrayed
think
this
it was
character.
relative. I think she was pretty hot, actually.
She was quite attractive, yes.
Yeah.
I portray this character, but I'm actually really kind of modest. So yeah, that when that stuff happens, I don't come and brag about that. But that legit that happened. And Brian Wells not there anymore.
Dude, that's been gone for a while.
No.
What? We still hadn't gotten there. So, Paul, tell us the story briefly. What happened?
Went in to get lunch, and I got to tell the story quick because we're going to go to break.
Garbage plates.
Yep, went to get garbage plates. And we're sitting there, and didn't she come up and say something?
No, this is what I don't remember. I don't remember if it was a customer or if it was somebody that worked there.
That's
was
what
what I
the
can't
executive chef, because she came out of the back. That's what it was. She came out of the back, delivered the food to us.
Okay.
And she called me by name and said, I recognize you by your voice from the podcast. And I shit you not, I just kind of sat there and I just looked at Kevin. I was just like, oh. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
I think I subscribed to your podcast that day and I never listened to it.
We normally get that too. Yeah.
I'm on this podcast. I've never once listened to it.
I only listen to the podcast to spot check my editing. So
I've never once listened to an episode. We've been doing this
a lot of years.
I've never once listened to an episode.
But Kelly does.
Religiously.
That's funny because I actually used to listen to the previous episode as I was driving to your house to record the current episode, just to get myself into the right mindset. But that was the only time I listened to it.
I used to like I said, once it would come out, I would spot check it to make sure the sound was okay, but I've stopped doing that. So literally it's just the couple of people that we know of that are listening to it.
I wonder if that executive chef is still listening to it.
I'd like to find out.
She should
She's
reach
listening
out
from
to us.
somewhere else because that place is gone. What was the name of it?
The Brian Well Eatery.
Wow, that's
And I could have swore they were still there.
I'm gonna look that up because you
I'm
would think
looking it
that
up right
would have
now.
been news.
I don't know. Boy, it looks like they're in the same place. 128 East Jefferson.
That's it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Right
I swear to
across.
God, the last time I looked for them, they were closed, but maybe it is still there.
They might have odd hours right now with the apocalypse.
The Wuhan.
Oh, because I would have eaten there. The last couple of weeks I've gone in. I've been looking for some place to go.
Pardon me.
I did find a good place, but I think they gave me food poisoning last time I was there.
Then it wasn't a good place.
That's not.
Well, it was good up until that.
Well, all right, we're about to get booted, so we're gonna go into our first commercial break here. On the other side of that, we're gonna go right into Hugh's news.
We're not doing
What's got
Got
you
You Geeked this week.
Huey
We are,
Lewis?
but we're gonna. I want to make sure we keep how we usually come out of the breaks.
All
Okay.
right.
All right,
Works.
we'll be right back, guys.
The 4th annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new celebrity guests, and more to enjoy. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2021 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 27th and 28th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring exciting guests including CJ Graham and Loren Malloy, as well as fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. More guest announcements will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fihorrorfest.com. That's www.sci-fihorrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be part of the fun. Please note, dates and details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19.
And we are back. As you can tell, Paul was giving me eyes. He didn't actually say, all right, I'm going to hit record like he usually does. So I was a little lost there. And since we believe in full transparency, I'm going to go ahead and own the screw up. Anyway, we are going into the news. And first up this week, can we hashtag restore my back and knees? Since hashtagging actually helped get the Snyder Cut of the Justice League made, hashtag restore the Snyderverse is now trending worldwide. Now, if you haven't seen this, the Snyder Cut of Justice League came out last week, and it is fucking fantastic. To the point where it actually took a movie that I hated, Justice League, and turned it into something that I want to see more of. And I'm still kind of floored that just by restoring unshot footage or unused footage and just shooting a little new stuff, I mean, clearly they really did butcher that movie when they let Joss Whedon take over. I didn't think that there could conceivably be that big of a difference, but there clearly was. At this point, over 1.5 million tweets so far, so it's gaining steam.
Wow.
I don't know if this is going to go anywhere because everyone's like, yeah, this is a one-shot thing, but it really seems like the whole world wants this. Now, I don't know if you want to talk about this later on in the show. I know it's kind of a big thing, but if you want to talk about the Snyder Cut, we can bring it back up a little later. Next up, how about hashtag to serve with Italian cuisine? Evan Peters will be portraying the role of Jeffrey Dahmer in Ryan Murphy's upcoming Netflix series Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Now, he's going to be teaming up with Ryan Murphy, like I said, who he has a long history with on American Horror Story on FX. You know, I think they're in the 10th season right now. I mean, we're at the point now where Evan Peters should really refer to Ryan Murphy as his boss because, I mean, everything Ryan Murphy does, he pops up in. But, you know, I think it's interesting. I don't know if he's the right person to play that particular character, but he does seem to be able to play just about any character they throw at him. So that's probably going to be pretty good. And last up, I feel like hashtag are you fucking serious, Google? The trailer for the new Suicide Squad movie came out today, and I would love to talk about that. But for me to watch it, first I had to go and try to, I had to log in because it's restricted. So I had to log in first. Then I had to do two-factor authentication in order to watch a movie trailer. And then I got an alert from Google saying, hey, is this you logging into Google on my phone, the same device that I confirmed that I was doing the two-factor authentication with? So I'm just, kind of caught up in the fact that it took so much to watch a friggin' movie trailer. And that's never happened to me in your life. If you guys noticed that Google's now, since they bought YouTube, you're not getting the 2FA stuff all over the place?
Nope. I went right from Facebook to it. Watched it without an issue.
The red band version.
The red band version.
Holy crap. I just wanted to watch it while I was doing show notes. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I mean, I look at my kids, if anything takes more than 1.5 seconds, they just go on to something else. So I can't imagine today's youth actually going through all of that. But that's the news, kids. So now I'm going to go hashtag find something to do that does not require 3 verification steps. Hashtag I can get in my bank account faster than this. Hashtag eat dicks for liberty from the Suicide Squad trailer. Hashtag Paul.
In other news, in Tibet, it is considered good manners to stick out your tongue at someone. Back to you, Corbs.
Is the face, is that part of it?
You're so not right, dude. All right, so I take it we're going into the movie review, huh?
Yes, Mr. Baseball, we are.
Thanks. Thanks. Mr. Baseball is the movie this week. Released in 1992, for those of you who don't understand that sort of language. Starring Tom Selleck, directed by Fred, pardon me if I screw this name up, Scampisi, I guess is his name. I don't fucking know. So I'm just going to give you a quick synopsis. Mr. Baseball, Tom Selleck stars as Jack Elliott, a rebellious, hedonistic New York Yankee who falls into a batting slump and is traded to a Japanese baseball team, as it is the only team that really wants him anymore. Instead, when he arrives in Japan, Jack does his best to make fun of Japanese attitudes. When handed business cards by bowing Japanese acquaintances, Jack dishes out baseball cards in return. He soon finds his lazy Western ways colliding head-on with a culture where discipline is king. His major league arrogance soon is deflated as he tries to impose American customs in an Eastern environment. It's through this humbling process that he dons a non-offensive way the film deploys in the storyline, eventually realizing he ain't what he used to be. Jack in the end comes back, gets himself back into shape, becomes a better ball player. His hard work pays off, and the climactic win over the league leading, I think it's Yokohama Giants or some crap like that. Can't remember the actual name of the team. Sorry, forgive me for not knowing the name of the team. That's a decent movie. I'm gonna give it like 2 stars. It's not the best baseball movie out there. It's not one of those movies that I'm gonna stop and watch. I did notice they spend a little bit more on the free movie channels that I got. So that's the reason why I watched it. So like I said, 2 stars. Not a bad movie, but I don't know. It's kind of a cheesy.
As I recall, that movie was less a movie about baseball, more a movie about how can we make money off Tom Selleck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much. It was right after like Magnum PI and whatever. I think he was just before Friends. I mean, he was kind of in that whole. He was going through that whole thing. So that's all I got.
I gotta ask, who is it out there that wouldn't know what you were talking about when you said 92?
I don't know.
I mean, I can't imagine anyone thinks that this movie was made in 1892.
Well, we have 2 listeners. Maybe they don't know. I don't know.
Tom Selleck makes a movie in 2092 called Mr. Baseball.
3000.
And Hugh, Paul, I'm going to cut you off. Well, actually,
feel free.
You once asked me if the comedy and the jokes in the movies would translate to now.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, definitely not.
No, they fall flat.
Oh, this movie wouldn't be made.
Super cringy,
stereotypical, picking on like Japanese American.
It'd be hashtag Stop Asian Hate is what it would
There you go. Yep.
Okay. Well, our good friend Roger Ebert, he says it's a 3-star movie, my friend.
He doesn't know anything.
And he says, Mr. Baseball is another one of those formula sports movies in which the locale is changed, but the recipe stays the same. I was able to anticipate almost everything that happened, as in the predictable hockey movie, The Mighty Ducks, which also opens today. Oddly enough, you'll be hearing about them again in a little while.
I love that movie.
So why did I like it? Maybe because style is as important as story in a movie like this, and Mr. Baseball is not without a certain flair. The movie stars Tom Selleck, convincing as a heavy-hitting first baseman who is traded to Japan by the New York Yankees. He's not a paragon of virtue. He drinks, chews, smokes cigars, womanizes, and has a bad attitude and a bum knee. Other than smoking, are we sure we're not talking about me? Faced with calisthenics on his first day in Japan, he grumbles, "Athletes? We aren't athletes, we're baseball players." He's the property of the Nagoya Dragons. The team is coached by Ushiyama Ken Takakura from Black Rain, a crusty old timer. What?
Ken is the first name of the actor. They never give you his full name.
Coached by Ushikama, and then it's Ken. Okay.
Right.
Who insists Selleck has a hole in his swing. Selleck is not prepared to take advice on this or any other baseball subject from a Japanese. And before long, he's in hot water for disobeying orders, losing his temper, getting into fights, and insulting the management. There is, of course, a woman. Yes, that's what it says. Not a woman. It says a woman. There always is in this formula. Her name is Hiroko, played by Aya Takanashi. And for once, she is not a clone of the stereotypical quasi-geisha. She's an advertising professional who runs the club's enforcements and makes Selleck appear in commercials he would rather not think about. They fall in love, but because of his ignorance of Japanese ways, he is forever committing grave offenses against proper behavior, and she is forever vowing never to speak to him again. The other major character is an African-American player named Hammer and played by Dennis Haysbert in the obligatory good buddy role. He gives advice on such matters as taking off one's shoes before entering the clubhouse. Together, Selleck and Haysbert try to instill a fighting spirit into a club that avoids trying to steal extra bases because getting thrown out would be a loss of face. The movie is directed by, Fred Schapisi, an Australian who usually avoids genre films like this. His credits include A Cry in the Dark and The Russia House. He gives this one some unexpected touches, of which the best is the handling of the crowd scenes. You can spot the phony crowds in most baseball movies. The Babe never seemed to have enough people in the stands. But here, Schapisi uses a documentary approach to show real crowds at real games, and he joins the fictional action so seamlessly it's not only convincing, but exciting as the Dragons go into the big series against their arch rivals. Schapisi and Selleck also do a nice, quiet job of making the title character convincing. He isn't overwritten or overplayed and seems like what he is, a player of considerable but not unlimited ability who needs to do some growing up. He grows up, the games get played, the subplots resolve themselves satisfactorily, and although the movie sets no record for brilliance, it works.
All right.
That sounds riveting.
Yeah.
It's really not. The funny thing about it is Tom Selleck is in the end of the movie, he's playing for the Detroit Tigers. He's like the player coach for them. That's his favorite baseball team.
Oh no! Yeah.
He was if you notice, and Kevin, you might know, he wore the Detroit Tiger hat. I don't know if you know what Magnum PI is, the old version. I don't know if you watched the old version. I used to watch it.
I'm aware of the old version. I do find it funny that you asked the guy that looks like Magnum PI if he was aware of the Detroit Tigers hat.
Yeah, he wears the Tigers hat and throughout the entire series. But the funny thing about it is he actually took batting practice and was in spring training games for the Tigers before the movie came out. That I did not know. I just was looking it up.
That's cool.
I heard that there's a couple of people that have done stuff like that. Like Garth Brooks did it with the Mets, but I remember he was the first athlete to do it. It was for the title. It was for that movie.
Nice.
When he realized he was getting that movie, he asked the Tigers if he could. And they're like, "Yeah, sure, come on down. We suck anyways."
Kind of like when Michael Jordan played for the White Sox.
Ouch.
Sorry.
That hurts. Not wrong, but it hurts.
You know, you do bring up a good point, though. I have to ask Kevin. Holy shit, that is an epic mustache. I mean, do you like have to like wax and groom that thing, or does it just naturally grow on your face?
It crawls off at night and it comes back in the morning and it pretty much takes care of itself.
You know, I mean, I could grow the hair. I mean, the gray in my beard gets washed out in the light here, so you know, it's. I mean, and I've tried using some like beard wax and things like that, but I have never been able to grow like that mustache that becomes a shelf that you can set things on. You know, it just. My dad had it, and I did. Apparently, it's not genetic, so I look at it's like I call it a Commissioner Gordon mustache.
It just
What it is.
happened. I don't even know. I mean, it just happened.
You woke up one morning, it was there.
I mean, that thing looks like it has like 2 inches of depth out from your
Well,
face.
I've honestly had a mustache since I could grow facial hair, which was probably about the age 14, 15, something like that. And then when I went in the service, I had to, they wanted to trim so small and so tight that I was just like, the hell with it. And I just shaved it off. And my wife actually found a picture of me at my parents' house when she was helping to clean it out. When my mother finally moved out of there. And she's like, who is this? She had no idea. If it hadn't had my name on the back of it, she would not have known it was me. Number one, she didn't know me when I was that age. But number two, she'd never seen me without a mustache. And I've said several times, I'm like, I should probably just shave it off just for the hell of it. And she's like, no, don't even think of it. So it's pretty funny. I don't really do anything more than, trim it once in a while, I guess. Tried to.
Yeah, I've tried the whole, combing things to the side so it can thicken up and stuff, but my shit just grows straight down and I end up having to trim it because it starts crawling into my mouth, or if it gets too long, it'll start getting caught in the hair under, below my lips, and it's just a mess. It's just I cannot get it to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the three of us can get a mustache to grow like that.
Nope.
Probably not. No. But as we've found this last year, I shouldn't screw with my facial hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Agreed.
true.
Now it's forever immortalized on a pair of socks. So
Want to say hi?
which Madison wore to school on Crazy Sock Day, by the way.
Say hi.
Her teacher texted Kristen. Whoa, that's a giant cat.
Come here.
No, it's forced perspective, Paul.
Yes, I'm aware.
Cat is
Thank you.
normal size.
I did catch that part when I was doing my art classes. I've got some of that down. All right, so now, well and good, deeply into the show, guys, what's got you geeked?
I don't know. Speak at once.
Kevin.
What? I did something cool at work today. I don't know.
Did you?
Yeah, kind of.
Other than lining up a podcast gig?
We had a problem this morning. Do you know about that?
When I logged in, it was still kind of wrapping up the problem.
So I did something that was hopefully going to help prevent that in the future, or at least alert us about things that we might have lost track. We've had some turnover before I came on board, and that turnover resulted in some lost information, and getting that back in line is taking time, and it's causing some issues. So hopefully a script I wrote this morning, or took most of the day to get it right, will help prevent. And it was a certificate that expired, actually expired yesterday afternoon, and had to do with VPN authentication.
Makes sense with the problems we were having this morning.
Yeah. So hopefully this what I wrote will help us find stuff like that in the future. So I don't know. It's pretty much all I've been thinking about for the last, I don't know, what time is it now? 14 hours, 15 hours.
Well, that'll do it. Hugh.
Well, I told you I was going to tell you about my week, and this is equal parts geeked, equal parts, fuck my life, because I've had a hell of a week. So last Friday, so it'd been 5 days since I got my PlayStation 5. Life is good, work is good. no issues. I'm in the shower and I get a phone call from Renaissance, or not Renaissance, Duncan Bright. Now I don't know if I mentioned this, but we'd purchased an entertainment center from Duncan Bright. We wanted to get one of the bigger ones with an insert fireplace and all that, and wanted to take advantage of the Irish bargain party sale. So I originally hadn't planned on buying this till later in the year, but I'm like, what the hell? I've got the card. But they said it wasn't going to be delivered until July because they were that backed up with
Right.
orders. So we're like, perfect. That gives us enough time to finish paying off the dining room set, which we have like 2-3 months to pay off, which is kind of what we do with our Duncan Bright card is, we buy a piece of furniture, we pay it off, then we get something else. That's how we can have nice things,
Right.
Finally at the point in life where, we have a credit card that doesn't kill us, that we can get nice things on. I guess that's like one of the virtues of being an adult. You get to that point where you can use other people's money to buy nice shit. So I get a phone call. I'm in the shower. I don't get phone calls anyway, unless somebody wants to, they really, really want to get a hold of me about my car's extended warranty. But I'm in the shower. It's early in the morning. So I'm in the shower. I look out, turn my phone over. It says Kathleen from Duncan Bright. So I answer it. She's like, oh, guess what? Your entertainment center's in. So I'm like, that's great. All right. When can you get it to me? She's like, the earliest we can get it to you is next Friday. I'm like, Friday's my day off. That's perfect. Go ahead. Let's set it up. All right. Later that day, our refrigerator dies. Our 2-year-old Whirlpool refrigerator that was brand new.
Oh,
It is only had a 1-year warranty. So
of course.
I'm out.
Oh, no.
$1,000 gone. So we have to go to Lowe's on Saturday, and we really wanted to get something nicer, so maybe a bottom freezer, all that, but we're kind of screwed because the place where the refrigerator goes, there are cupboards there's cabinets over top. We only have 34 inches. So we basically ended up picking the same thing that we had before, but this time went with Frigidaire because, I don't want to say, oh, I hate Whirlpool, but I mean, that's fucked up. A refrigerator should last more than 2 years.
Yes.
So I'm like, all right, it's basically the same thing we had, same size and everything, nothing nicer about it. I took the full 5-year plan on it. So here we go, another $1,000. They say to me, the soonest we can deliver it to you is next Friday. Now, I don't know if y'all have ever had to go for an entire week without a refrigerator.
No, I can't imagine that kind of hell.
The last time this happened, it was like 2 days. They made something happen. So we have been living in cooler land this week. Multiple stacked coolers in my kitchen. Such a disaster that we haven't been eating out of the freezer. I mean, usually I cook every night. We haven't even wanted to cook in there. There's no room. The counter space is all taken up. It's just, I don't know if you can even just imagine hating a room in your house and you don't even want to go there. And it's a room you have to go to feed your family. It sucked. And we finally get through it, and we get to today. And of course, we have the fact that we're juggling 2 deliveries.
Oh shit!
Which ended up, first of all, it was an all-day process, and it was, and once it was finally all done, we had the refrigerator got delivered and was working. The entertainment center got delivered. Everything was up and good. I had to go about the process of hooking everything back up, which is, equal parts exciting and equal parts painful when you're as old and fat as I am.
Yes.
I'm on the floor sideways, cutting holes and shit and running wires, and finally got it all done. My meals today consisted of 3 energy drinks until dinner, 3 Monsters, and then I grabbed some take and bake pizza from Price Chopper, and we sat down and watched Falcon and Winter Soldier and X-Men Origins Wolverine, because that's where we are in the X-Men thing, and that was not a good way to celebrate. But I was going to send you guys a picture of this thing. But yeah, it's just been, I mean, this is good stuff. We got our entertainment center, and it's good that we have a refrigerator, but it's also been a really, really stressful week. Here, let me just choose this picture and send it. This thing is really nice, though. Once I figure out how I'm going to get up over top of it and hang some of our pictures, everything's going to be good. But take a look at that. I just
wow.
That's neat.
If you can believe, with the insert, this was like only $800.
That's awesome.
That's actually neat. Why it popped up on my Facebook feed last fall, and I'm like, I've never seen one of these with the insert for less than $1,000.
Right.
They're usually really expensive. It's even got the heat and everything. So I mean, it's not like it's an expensive unit. The price was great. But yeah, that's what I'm geeked about. I mean, I'm happy that I can now use my kitchen.
Right?
I angrily dumped out all the ice, into the backyard as I was cleaning everything up. And we ended up, because water got into all the Ziploc bags, we ended up losing everything in our fridge just about.
Yep.
And
That
there are some
sucks.
things, and there are things I'm not going to trust that sat in there. Like there's like mustard. Mustard's probably fine. Oyster sauce and fish sauce, no fucking way.
Nope.
I'm going to have to go replace all of my Asian cooking stuff. And
No, all that stuff goes into the garbage martini.
yeah, basically garbage martini. Oh, I should have poured it all into something, and then when we get together, we could place bets or something on who can take shots of it.
I'm not even that crazy.
No.
Nope.
I'll pass.
No. But now I can see Hugh showing up to my birthday party this summer with a special drink for me.
Wait, dude, I never get to your birthday.
No,
party.
because it's your fucking anniversary every year.
Yeah. I'm sorry that I got married on the wrong day, Paul. The wrong day for you.
You didn't check with me, even though you didn't know me for years after. That's all right. You'll be jealous because this year Kevin and I are going to get shit faced and play Bang, and that's not a euphemism.
So you're gonna get shit faced and bang?
That's what I heard.
You know how
Bang
much I
the
wish we
drum.
could use that title now.
They are gonna eat dicks for liberty.
No, Kevin, if you haven't seen the trailer for Suicide Squad, that's not going to make a lot of sense.
It's going to actually make me sound very strange. I hope the heck. Oh, go ahead.
Aren't you guys saying it wrong? Isn't the new movie The Suicide Squad?
He might be right.
He is right.
Because the original movie was
Suicide Squad. You know how I'm going to differentiate this one? James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Is there anybody except for Harley Quinn that's crossing
Captain
the boundary?
Boomerang. He's coming back too.
And then Flag.
Is that the same guy?
Yep.
Hugh,
Different
you have
hair.
no head. Okay, now it just came back.
So Boomerang and who? Flag?
Captain Colonel Flag or whatever he is.
Yeah,
Captain
Joel
Flag.
Kinnaman's character or whatever.
Yeah. He was the one that was dating
Yeah,
the witch or whatever. He's
the military guy, the guy,
Yeah.
the
military
guy that
guy.
always led the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel Kinnaman's definitely in it. I saw his name in the credits.
It just didn't look like him. He looked different.
No, his hair is different. Kind of like they got the
And he has no
comb over.
facial hair this time.
And
And
his
he
comb
look-
over.
You know who he fucking looks like? He looks like Tony Hawk.
Kind of.
Excuse me. You know what? I know who you're talking about now because I saw somebody in it and I was like, who the hell is that? And for some reason, I noticed Joel Kinnaman's name in the credits. Because that's really a star-packed movie.
Mhm.
There's a ton of great people in there. But yeah, he looked weird.
Yeah, he's never played a strong role though. I mean, even in
he's
the
always been
original
a
Suicide
kind of
Squad.
a yep.
Yeah.
He tried
So-
to play a strong role in RoboCop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen that.
I say try.
Was it that bad?
It wasn't good.
I thought it was all right.
I didn't see it.
Don't get me wrong. It was all right. I liked the original, like Peter Weller
Yeah.
version.
In Red from that 70s show.
Yep. Yes. Yes.
No, I mean it was a functional reboot. I mean they did an okay job. I mean that's tough to top.
Yep.
And I mean it's how do you top a powerful character when the actor can't really act? I mean Peter Weller didn't really have to. I mean he acted, but his character didn't have character. That was what
Right.
RoboCop was. He was lacking character. And I mean, how do you approach that and put your own mark on it when that would actually go against what the character is? I
Right,
don't
yeah.
know that, because we saw Peter Weller first, he's going to be the one we always love. If we saw the reboot first, we'd probably think it in reverse.
Right.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't given it a shot.
Haven't seen the reboot. Haven't seen the reboot, and I haven't seen the new trailer for The Suicide Squad. So
Oh,
We
you
should
have
watch
to.
it.
And
It's Stallone. Is
I was hoping you saw that too.
yeah.
King Shark. Yes.
Stallone's in this.
You don't see him. I don't know if he's just a voice or if he did the mocap
Just-
for it.
So
but
that means Stallone has been in both Marvel and DC.
yes.
Good for him.
Yep.
Good for him.
Well, also I saw
I-
in the trailer, why am I missing his name?
Idris Elba.
him
Yeah.
as well.
I saw that
Yep.
in the picture. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no,
So he crossed. So he's in both then too.
Yep. Because he was
Davidson.
Davidson. No,
Yeah.
Yandu, Merle,
Oh,
Oh,
yep,
Michael
yep.
Rooker.
Rooker. Thank
Michael
you.
Rooker's in this?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
I
No
have a feeling he's a
way!
bit part in it because you don't see a lot of him in the trailer.
I
the
fucking
guy they
love
released
Michael
from
Rooker.
prison, right, or whatever. They shoot him the thing in the back of his neck thingy.
Yep.
Okay.
And the weird long blonde hair.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's
that
fucking
was good.
awesome.
He is. Yeah, this is star packed. I mean, I'm sure this is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. I never say that for a DC movie.
God, that's crazy. The number of actors that are crossing over in one movie.
Well, a lot of that, if you look at it, they're all James Gunn's buddies.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, that makes more
So-
sense, I guess.
Yeah, because Rooker, I mean, everything that James Gunn does, Rooker shows up in. So,
Well, it's because they're two peas in a pod.
yes. Yeah. A friend of the show, one of the promoters we know, could tell you some stories about Rooker. But I don't have the green light to go into those, so I'm not going to. I'm hoping one day
I'd love
it
to meet
pans
him,
out
hang
where
out
we
with him
get
for a
to-
fucking
yes.
weekend.
That's oof, yeah. That's what I'm hoping. One of these
I'd like to
cons
ride with him.
that we can make it work out. Yeah. Well, yeah,
I'd like
you're a
to
big
freaking
motorcycle
go for a ride
guy.
with him. Yeah, him and Norman Reedus. I'd like to freaking go on a ride with those guys.
You got to
That'd
get
be a hell
famous
of a
so you
good
can get on the
time.
show.
You're famous.
Well,
It's not going to happen
the
here,
right
my
place
friend.
at the right time.
So,
Never.
are you guys all caught up with Walking Dead?
We are. Are we going to jump ahead to our?
I don't get to talk.
Well, I didn't either. So let's wrap up. What's got us
That's
geeked?
right.
No, we need to because we can't move on to
We
the
just
next.
got
really
off
what's
track.
got-
That's all.
Mine's really not what's got me geeked. So I got some shitty news this week. So my I found out my brother's got to have kidney transplant.
Oh,
So
that's not good. Are you using your platform to find him a kidney? Is that what we're doing right now?
to be honest with you, I still don't know. He still hasn't called me. He called my mom. He's like, I'll call him.
He just figured you were overhearing it in the background. Or
No, I wasn't here when he called.
you were at work.
There's a whole story behind that too. So
But is that dirty laundry you want to air on the...
no,
Okay.
no,
So really nothing's got you geeked, it's got you tweaked. Is that it?
yeah. It's just fucked up because my you guys all know I'm very family oriented. I'll do anything for my family, do anything for my friends. My older brother, he is a diabetic, and it runs in the family. My mom's a diabetic. I have prediabetes. Paul, you obviously know you have diabetes too. My brother does not take care of himself, does not manage his sugar, does not manage anything well. And to top it off, he smokes. So he's got a lot of other issues going on. He was actually just in the hospital 2 weeks ago. It was for something to this that was leading up to this. So yeah, they did a kidney biopsy and found out that he's got to have kidneys replaced. So that's just it's. I found that out yesterday when I got home from work. So it's been
Kind of a kick in the nuts. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, even though my brother and I aren't close right now, it's still family, and it hurts to know.
Definitely. Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I got. Sorry to bring the room down.
Right. This is where we do the sad Hulk music. If I was a better editor, I would put it in.
Yeah. If you were, you would.
If. That's a huge if right there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got one thing that does have me geek. Last Friday, I dropped my sister off. I don't know if I said this. I don't know if I told you guys this last week. Friday, when I dropped my sister off at home after she got her wisdom teeth pulled, which, by the way, hysterical. My sister, when she was on her way home, all whacked out on freaking Novocaine and nitrous, rambling and whatnot. It was great. I dropped her and my mom off at my sister's. Got them upstairs, got them all situated. I left and went to Point Place Casino and won $200.
Nice.
Sat down 5 spins into a game and hit for 95 free spins. So, and won I took about $100 with me. I put $40 in and turned it into $140 right there. Like since I was 5 or 6 spins in or whatever, and then set down another machine and pulled off another $80. And then I said, oh, well, I'm not going to do much better than this. It's time to go. So I walked out with just about $200 extra. So
awesome.
Nice.
Not a bad way to start off a week.
Job.
Yeah. Very good. See, I've only been there once. That's the one out in
it's out in Brewerton. Now I don't know.
Nope, that's not where I was thinking then. I was thinking
you got 3 of them around here. You got Point Place, which is up in Brewerton, up in that area. And after that is obviously the Turning Stone. Everybody knows that one. And then there's the Yellow Brick Road, which is out in Chittenango. And then you've got another one that's not associated with them. That's west of here, between here and Rochester, which is the Lager.
Where in Brewerton is there a casino?
When you go up 31.
Okay.
And they put in that little turnabout, whatever the hell that thing is now. So if you head up 31 and you head towards Sylvan Beach.
Yeah, that's not.
It's not Brewerton.
Bridgeport.
Bridgeport. All right,
Okay.
Bridgeport.
Yes, so that is the one I went to.
Sorry.
We went there to watch a UFC fight, and then we found out after we got there and gambled our money away, then went to watch it, that they don't do the UFC fights at Point's Place. Yeah.
I don't normally go to that one because I wasn't winning when I was going there. I usually go to Yellow Brick Road, but I was trying to get home because my son was here by himself, and I was, obviously had to take my sister and whatnot. So, but I was like, I'm just gonna stop out there and just kind of see. Hey, I put money in one, and I was like, you know what, I'm out.
See you, bye.
I was only there like 45 minutes, and I came out with $200, and I called it a day, and I came home.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
And I will discuss what's got me geeked after the break, because it's this is going to take more than a couple of minutes, I think. So stay tuned. Not only hopefully in this break, I'm gonna throw in the Suicide Squad trailer for you guys too. So we'll have the ad and the trailer for you guys to watch, and we'll be back in just a minute.
The 4th annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new celebrity guests, and more to enjoy. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2021 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 27th and 28th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring exciting guests including CJ Graham and Loren Malloy, as well as fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. More guest announcements will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fihorrorfest.com. That's www.sci-fihorrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be part of the fun. Please note, dates and details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19.
Welcome back, guys.
Hi, Felicia.
That was Aisha. Anyway. So yeah, as you guys just saw, that this is what I want to discuss. As you guys just saw, you saw a little promo or trailer for something called Grid After Dark, or The Grid After Dark, I should say. I'm sorry. And this is kind of what's got me excited. This is an old friend of mine that I reconnected with, and he's doing something kind of cool on YouTube. And he's I'm going to read the blurb that he sent along for Grid TV is his channel, and there will be links in the show notes so you can follow and go check out his stuff too. Grid TV, you got to get on the grid to get off the grid. We teach you a unique way to make money with click funnels and share our adventures of ghost hunting. So now you guys see where we're going with this. We are setting out every week to bring you up-to-date history hauntings and never explored areas that have dark history that no one has put on YouTube yet. A great example is their video of the Four Corners inscribed in New York. They also do urban exploring. They are a fresh channel expanding little by little into the vast unknown of paranormal investigations. They're not professionals, but avid enthusiasts and recreational historians. They will also have a vast variety of videos on the channel, ranging from click funnels to how-tos to ghost hunting and food tutorials. Please join them in their adventures and reach out to them for ideas, or even go on an adventure with us, which is where we come in, boys. Please check out their website, www.gridoffgrid.com, and catch them on the YouTube at Grid TV. As always, thank you to their fans they call the Gridlings, and they'll catch you on their next adventure on Grid TV. I didn't edit their piece. I was trying to edit on the fly there. But their main character host is Chris the Grid Gridley. He's always referred to himself as the Grid. He's definitely a unique character, and we're going to get him on the show at some point, because you guys got to experience this guy. And he makes Monty look normal.
What?
Yeah. He's something special.
Safe?
Yes, ish.
Okay. That's a very bold statement there, Paul.
I've had a lot of years with this guy. Back in my hard partying days when I was doing construction, he was one of the adjacent friends. He was friends with some of my friends that I worked with, and he became part of the inner circle. He's a wild character. He fashions himself as the fearless living legend. And now he's decided to do paranormal investigations in the area. And he said, wouldn't it be cool if you guys came along? And I was like, that would be pretty freaking cool. You guys got to check out his videos. They do some cool stuff. He insists that a demon monkey scratched his cameraman at Whiskey Hollow. They did Whiskey Hollow at night. We did Whiskey Hollow, remember? But we did it during the day, so we didn't really get anything cool out of it.
Other than, that failed monologue that I memorized from the Blair Witch and tried to pull off that great part, and then we discovered that the audio and everything.
The audio sucked. Yeah. Totally don't want to say it was the camera person's fault, but it was the camera person's fault.
Or maybe it was the camera's fault.
Camera person.
Is it a camera woman?
What would make you say that?
Yeah, I noticed she posted something a few weeks ago that this is starting to get to her or something. Was she talking about us?
No, that was not us. No, I reached out to make sure. Right. That's believable too.
I know we give her a lot of shit. But.
We do, and I checked, and well, let's be honest. What I did was I scolded her for vague booking, and then she told me what it was about, and I was like, oh, okay. No, completely unrelated to anything that I have done. Because let's be honest, if something's going to piss her off, it's me, not us. Yeah. It's me.
Yeah. I can
I'll call it like it is. I'm not going to lie. Kevin has no idea what the hell we're talking about right now.
This was right after. This was right after. gave my review of the Daryl Bottle episode of Walking Dead, and kind of said some things about people who thought it was a dumb, boring episode. And I thought maybe it was me.
No, because she knew full well we were going to go after her. I told her that. And you know what? We were pretty tame about it. She even said, she said that was a lot more tame than I expected. I'm like, yeah, it's because I wasn't leading the charge on that one. But yeah, guys, check out the Grid TV. Like I said, if that promo I showed caught you, do it up, check it out. We're hoping to do some cool shit with those guys in the future as soon as social distancing allows, or just whenever we can make our schedules work. So,
yeah,
one of those.
For those two.
So this one, especially to you, Dr. Hugh, did you see the news about Marvel Comics distribution today?
I saw the article. I didn't read it. Didn't get a chance. Something about the head of Marvel penned a letter, wrote a letter to some distribution people. What was the deal?
No, the deal is they have signed with Penguin Random House to do all of their comic book distribution now. They are no longer with Diamond. Diamond can still offer up their stuff, but it is as a wholesaler. So they can't offer the same discounts they used to do to all the retailers and stuff. So this shakes things up again like last year with DC Comics.
Man. Do you think it's going to be good or bad for the industry?
It makes my life harder for This Week in Geek because I usually go right to Previews World to get all the information. So, I mean, DC seems to be thriving without being part of Diamond. The only difference is their books come in a day early. Like new books for DC are in on Tuesdays.
So now that both DC and Marvel have moved away from Diamond, what's the point of Diamond?
Diamond Select. That's about it. You can get mini mates. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is a good thing for Diamond, especially. But maybe this will change their business practices. Maybe it'll show them.
I also saw that DC is raising the price of Batman books up to what, $8.99?
That's insane. Yeah.
Holy
That's crazy.
crap.
And this is why I don't read Batman.
Yeah.
Almost $10 for a regular comic book. That's just
insane. For something that used to be 25 cents. Right.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. It hasn't been 25 cents since, we were little kids. Okay. But, $3-4
True.
for an issue of a comic book seems reasonable by today's prices. $10, not a chance.
Absolutely not.
If I can go out and actually get, a meal for what I pay for a comic book.
Yep. Comic books got to go.
Yeah.
I think the most expensive they were when I stopped buying them were around $1.50.
That was mid-90s.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
To be. Yeah. And it's slowly crept up.
Sure.
To where now where we think $4 or $5 is acceptable. Because again, I think even middle school, I think it was like 75 cents a comic, and that's when I started, I believe. But yeah, $9 for a comic. No, thank you.
No. A special edition, maybe, a variant,
right.
maybe, but for the regular monthly Batman issue, I mean, you know what a big Batman fan I am, and I won't do that.
I mean, who can maintain that? It's not good.
No.
When I was like 12, 13, 14, I'd go into the local, it was the it was before Crandall's. It was Crandall's Corner Pharmacy. So before Wayne's bought them, and I knew when the comics came in. I knew when the new magazines came in. I'd go in there and I'd sit and I'd wait until she cut the strap and did her inventory, and then I'd go through. I'd pick out what I wanted. She'd let me put them behind the counter. Marge was the woman that worked there, and put them behind the counter, and as soon as I got my allowance or whatever, I'd go back and I'd give her my $10 bill, and I'd buy a stack of comic books. I mean, a stack of comic books
for $10. Now you can get a couple.
And I spent that whole $10 on. Oh God.
Crandall's, that was Plath's guy, right?
Mexico.
Was it Mexico? Okay. Because I know Wayne's bought some of them in Plasky too. Okay, sorry, I thought I was
Yeah.
thinking of the same place.
Yeah, Wayne's. Yeah, they spread out, and now they're something else. I don't even know. I don't think Wayne's exists anymore. I don't know, but yeah, no, that's what I remember.
Yeah, I remember the spinner rack at our local Big M, and you could drop a couple bucks and come out with a handful of comics, and that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah,
That's
me, it was
unfortunate.
Pennies, Drugs, and Plasky. That's where I got my comics initially.
Yeah, and now you can't do that. You can't just go into a corner store and find comics anymore.
No,
you can go to Wegmans and find comics from 15 years ago.
Is that true? You can't, like, in a magazine rack, they don't have comics anymore?
they barely have magazine racks these days.
Very true.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want comics, you basically have to go to a comic shop at this point or online.
I was actually looking to get a subscription to like I decided I wanted to get a video game magazine. Like I wanted something monthly that I could look forward to that I could read on the toilet. US PlayStation, the official PlayStation magazine, works out to $9.99 per month per issue for a subscription.
Ouch.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. That's I mean, I understand they can't do a yearly subscription for $20 anymore, like back when I got EGM, but that's insane.
It is. I picked up an issue of Star Wars Insider, like the official Star Wars magazine from Lucasfilms. I picked it up because it had a cover story about the Mandalorian for the girls, and it had a backup about the High Republic. It had like another story with it that you could only get that part of the story from the magazine. $11 for a magazine.
Man.
Yeah, insane. And now we all sound like a bunch of old people. That's for sure. The whole back in my day, and yeah.
Back in my day.
Well,
You got it, Marvin.
As I recall, I just asked you not that long ago, Paul, that the place you have your subscriptions at, as soon as you see the Mandalorian there, I wanted copies of that, and I don't believe I said anything about what it cost.
So what you're saying is money's no object?
So
because you make that network money?
No, it is absolutely no object. I want those books.
And I have not forgotten. Those have not come up as a solicitation yet. But when they do,
I haven't seen on their list, on their
I believe they said sometime in the spring. I think that's when all of the push is for all the Mandalorian books and comic books and reading material. I'm sure there's gonna be a Playboy issue. I don't know.
Be interesting to see if Cara Dune makes it in there.
Bet you she don't. So speaking of the Mandalorian, let's jump right into midstream. This is because Hugh wasn't here last week when we introduced this. This is all the stuff that you're watching via streaming services. So all of our Disney Plus, our Netflix, anything you're watching. What have you guys been catching up on other than Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Because I know we're all gonna hit on that. Has everybody caught up? Have you all seen episode 2?
Not episode 2, no.
Shit.
Sorry.
No, you're out.
You can talk about it. I don't care.
I mean, it's not like a whole lot happened anyway, Paul.
I'm not. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch it no matter what.
Apparently, I'm watching it again tomorrow because the wife wasn't home this evening, so I watched it without her, so I have to watch it again. Holy shit with the Easter eggs and the character drops in this episode.
Dude, this isn't working for me.
You don't like Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
You know, the interactions are great. I mean, everything about the two main characters, they're awesome. You remember how WandaVision, at the end of every episode, we were like, oh, and it was just, it was like a huge deal. I just feel like it's lacking that energy. It's lacking the, I mean, I still want to watch it. I mean, yeah, I know who they dropped at the end of this episode. But I mean, it's not really a big deal. I mean, this isn't the same as, Samuel L. Jackson showing up on the show as Nick Fury or something. I mean, this was he was kind of big in that one movie, but hasn't shown up since. So, I mean, it's not like I'm shocked that he's there. He fits into this particular kind of story that you would tell with these characters.
And we all knew he was coming.
Yeah.
They've publicized that one a lot. He is not who I'm talking about.
Okay.
No, like all throughout, and the only reason I'm jacked about this one is because this was the era when these characters were introduced that I was actually reading Captain America. So the whole John Walker thing.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet, but we get more in depth with our new Captain America on this. Corbs, you're caught up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
we
watched
see
it when I got home.
what?
I watched it when I got home today.
Okay. So we get to know John a little bit more. He's visited by an army buddy. I'm assuming it's army. They don't really say. And I took special notice of the name on his BDUs, and that was Battlestar, basically his version of Bucky, but you can't call him Bucky because he's a black guy. And so I kind of geeked out when I saw that, and then as the episode progresses, we see him as Battlestar. But the biggest one for me was we got to see Isaiah Bradley at the end of the episode. And do you remember the limited series, The Truth? That's when we found out that in the 50s, they did all sorts of experiments in the vein of the Tuskegee Airmen on a battalion of black soldiers with the super soldier serum. And Isaiah Bradley's the one that survived, and he was basically the 1950s Captain America. And we get to see him. And that's really cool. It's a good callback on that. But what's even cooler is his grandson that answers the door. That is Eli Bradley, who goes on to become Patriot from the Young Avengers. So when they said that was Isaiah, and I put two and two together, I'm like, holy shit, they could be building a Young Avengers show right now, because we've already gotten Stature, we got Ms. Marvel coming, we've got Kate Bishop, Hawkeye coming, there's Isaiah Bradley. What's the key that we know Kang's coming when they do Quantumania, which Kang became Iron Lad for the original Young Avengers. So who's to say we can't have a Young Avengers show coming up? We know there's a Nova movie coming. If they do Sam Alexander, we have them all together. I'm reading way too much into this, aren't I?
No, I don't think you are.
Especially because we have a Ms. Marvel show coming. And the Hawkeye show, they've already said that we have Kate Bishop coming. So this all can be coming together.
It only makes sense because it's Marvel's version of Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm. And their next generation of Avengers.
Will this
and Titans is doing so well that they're not going to ignore that.
Would this be a TV show or a movie, though? Or do you think they would go with it?
I'm not sure.
Disney Plus.
I could see them doing Disney Plus, especially with Ms. Marvel springboarding off of it. But it could go both ways, because they have said that some of these shows can springboard into the movies.
Yeah. But everything you're talking about is Disney Plus.
It totally could be. And then most of what we're seeing is Disney Plus. So why not?
That makes sense.
I don't see Young Avengers being $1 billion movie. Not unless they built it up as a TV show first and
you're right,
guest starring in movies.
You're right. Yeah.
But to spin into one, the way Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., helped the Avengers and some of that stuff. Definitely. They know the formula works.
Oh, without a doubt. Oh, and since we're talking about Disney Plus, I do just want to point out that Mark Spector, he is also Stephen Grant and Jake Lockley, as well as Moon Knight. Just saying.
You love your Moon Knight.
Love Moon Knight. Have you guys seen the video of Oscar Isaac doing his combat training?
No.
Oh my God. I am sold on Oscar Isaac now as Moon Knight. If I find that video, I'll have to
Is he in costume or just doing?
Sure.
No, it's just training. He's in a t-shirt and sweatpants with a man bun. Hopefully he gets rid of the long hair before the show. Hopefully, get some hair dye too, because he's kind of gray, and I don't need my Moon Knight with gray hair.
So Corbs, what do you
Moon
think?
Knight was an older guy, though, wasn't he?
He's probably around our age, I would say,
So old, used up.
mid-40s.
Yep.
What do you think of the show, Corbs, so far?
It's not bad. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, I like Anthony Mackie as the Falcon. I'm like, again, I don't, I'm not as versed as you guys are and all this stuff. So it's just, for me, it's just that watching the show is watching the show for me. You guys, I mean, like Paul said, he picked up all these things. For me, it's like, oh, look, there's a guy there. He threw a tin can through a wall type of thing.
Black kid answered the door. Okay.
Oh, I liked the what do they call you, black kid? That was great. We all laughed.
Yes, that was great. I like
But
that.
why can't you said they can't call that one character Bucky because he's black? Why is that?
It was a racial thing.
Oh, it was? I've never not heard that one.
That's as I understood it. Going back to the mid '90s, is like that was the
word Bucky.
That is a no calling a black man Bucky. Yeah.
Oh, I did not. You'd think I would know that, being married to a black woman.
Run it by her.
I didn't.
Okay, I'll ask
I
you.
wouldn't have caught that.
Yeah.
That was useless trivia I caught from years ago when they were creating.
Well,
that
just
character.
thank God you may have saved my life, Paul.
So
were you thinking about calling the wife Bucky? Because don't do that.
So this is great, though. I mean, they're doing a little bit of fan service, which is fantastic. I mean, if you know the story that well, it's really, I think that's great. I don't think I would have picked up on it. I didn't follow the story that close, when I was a kid, and I certainly wouldn't have looked back into it just to see what was going on. But I like the fact that, they're extending the Avengers story. We definitely know that this is after, the snapback and the final battle. And, they make that a point right in the very first episode. Unlike with WandaVision, you really had no idea when that was taking place, until a couple of episodes in, which was cool too. It was a, different way to do things. But it is neat that they're bringing these characters in. When they brought Rambo, I forget what her first name was. Monica, was it? When they brought her in, to WandaVision, and I realized who she was, it was like, that was huge to me, because all of a sudden I'm like, wow, I feel like I know something that's really cool about this. And I talked to several people who I would have thought were bigger fans than I was, and they had no idea. They didn't even pick up on it. They had no idea who she was, and what the significance of it all was. And even at the end, when they saw her, in the theater with the what were they called? Crawls. They still didn't get it. They're like, oh yeah, I kind of recognize what that was. And I'm like, you had no idea what the significance was. So I had to explain it to them, what I knew about it. So I like that, though. There's something in there for fans, and then there's something in there for the folks who just want to see more of the story. So I'm in. I'm hooked into it.
Without a doubt, 100% in. Everything they do with it, I'm clearly going to watch, because that's what we do anyway.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they're doing it right. The only one that I'm a little concerned about is Loki, and that's just because I really don't know where they're going with that. I almost get kind of a time bureau kind of thing out of it, just from the preview we saw. But I have to trust in Marvel, I guess.
Oh, it's the same thing with Black Widow,
which we now have a new release date for.
Oh yeah.
July 15th,
something like that. Yeah.
In theater, and then Disney Plus Premium for an extra $30.
Do we even know for
a month and a half?
Do we even know for sure that Loki's really dead?
Well, he's not really dead any longer.
Right. Yeah. Because of the whole Endgame, him getting the Tesseract thing and disappearing.
No, that's not necessarily true. What I'm talking about is Loki's ability to fool people.
Also true. But yeah, they never went anywhere with that.
I mean, my understanding was that when he did that, he created a divergent timeline, and the Loki that we're going to see in the show is basically a Loki from that divergent timeline.
Oh God, I hope you're wrong.
That's
I
what
don't
I
think
read.
he is.
Fucking hate those extra timelines. That is like the worst thing that they have ever done to comic.
You're going to
books.
see a lot more of them.
Oh, great.
Fuck that shit. Oh, I hate that.
I'm out.
You're out?
I
What?
hate that
I'm not
shit.
watching anymore.
He's done. Not my Loki.
Can't keep these timelines straight.
Yeah, you better get a notebook.
It's a ridiculous way to extend the story. It's just
You
It's a
realize that
cop-out.
that's where we're heading, right?
The
it's a
McAvoy story.
cop-out. It was a
Coming out of
cop-out in the comic book.
WandaVision, that's where we're heading. Like that's all of the Doctor Strange sequel. That's where
Multiverse.
everything is going. Yes.
I know.
Is it McAvoy or Stewart? I can't keep them straight.
What?
Neither.
Never mind.
Did you just Deadpool to us?
No, I
He
did.
did.
You dumbass.
All right, guys.
Money
This
shot.
is an extra long episode because we are not done and we have to go to break again.
And we got to talk about the dead.
Yes. We're going to come back and finish up our midstream and wrap up this show. Who knows? Maybe I'll throw some more trailers in for you here instead of playing the same commercial for the third time. We'll be right back, guys.
Half asleep as it is. And we're back. I don't know what we're going to talk about now, but we're back.
Fucking Walking Dead.
You know, polar bears scream when they poop.
In other news, I was planning to use that for one of those, by the way.
I had to, man. I had to put it out there.
Well, then it sounds like the polar bear is my spirit animal.
All right.
So is everybody caught up on Walking Dead?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm so
So
enthused right now.
Booty,
Everybody's
what?
like, yeah.
It's getting late.
Yeah.
So we caught back up with Princess and Eugene this week.
Ezekiel.
Well, no, we didn't actually catch up with Eugene.
Very true. Very
Caught
true.
up with Princess.
Yeah.
Even after watching Talking Dead, I'm still not sure what actually happened.
Yep. Yeah, no clue.
That
Well,
is one crazy broad.
Basically, everything after the first scene where they're fighting, all the other interactions she had except with the guard were all in her head. It was all her imagination. Yes.
Right, except until the very end where they open the door
Yeah.
and everybody's out there in hoods.
Exactly.
So
That's what
even
the-
her, wait, hold on. Even her talking to Yumiko.
Yes.
See, that one I thought was legit. No
All
shit.
in her head. All in her head.
Mhm.
The trap door, you know, King Ezekiel comes through the roof, everything. All in her head.
It was manifested like of her mother or something like that. I kind of caught that when she was talking to Ezekiel. I kind of figured out, okay, this is all kind of a dream or
Yeah.
whatever, how she copes with everything. I got that part of it. But
and Angela Kang confirmed that it was Angela, or was the writer of the show on Talking Dead, confirmed that only the initial scene and the end scene really happened the way it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, Hugh, you're way more familiar with this because you read all the issues.
Yes, but I don't recall. I mean, that was a lot of comic that I read a long time ago. I know she was a little wacky. I don't recall anything like this.
I know I saw an article last week where it referenced that the show was going to give her the same origin story that they gave her in the comics. So, and I thought that was probably playing into the abuse angle. And
yeah, I don't think there was an issue with the comic where she was in a train car like that.
Okay.
I will say that unlike the Daryl episode, which I thought was fantastic, just to prove that I'm not just a fanboy. I mean, 5 minutes into this episode, I look at my wife and I go, is this whole thing going to be her in a fucking train car? Are you serious? I understand what they were trying to do. I respect what they're trying to do, and I accept it because these are bonus episodes, so I'm not going to get mad about it. But I do not feel like the Daryl episode that it was, an incredible look at a character's backstory, their motivations, and everything. This was not the same thing. It was better than watching My 600-Pound Life or 90 Day Fiance or something else my wife likes to watch. I'd still rather watch that, but yeah, I feel like Princess maybe deserved better. She's not been on the show long enough for me to care about knowing that much about her yet.
That's where I was going with it. Like she hasn't earned it yet. You know what I mean? Yeah, because a lot of it just comes as right now with her. Kev, go ahead.
So here's what I want to know. The guard, did he go in there specifically to let her overpower him?
Seemed like it.
As a way to get into her head?
I think so, because before he opens the door, he says, "I got it." So clearly they were out there. They knew that something was going on in there, and he achieved whatever his goal was. And maybe that was to get her to open up.
Right. So maybe, the gun was never loaded, he was never really in jeopardy. I mean, the whole bit, or he put himself in minor jeopardy because it had it did have a, what do you want to call it? What do you call it when you put a knife on the end of the gun?
Bayonet.
Jesus. I was
bayonet,
a bayonet. I was in the freaking service and I can't remember. Right. Well, so I mean, there was some jeopardy there. I mean, she could have used the as a tool anyway, knife or no knife, to do some serious damage to this guy. But do you think they thought that far ahead, wondering if they could get her to open up a different way, and then just like, I'm just gonna let her kick my ass and see what happens? I mean, that's I don't know.
Well, I mean, he may not have intended for her to kick his ass. Right. I mean, he probably didn't think she could kick his ass. But going in there just to try to get her to talk, it seemed like they wanted to I don't know whether it's find out if they could trust her or what. She is kind of a wild card and kind of crazy. So I mean, maybe instead of just writing her off and leaving her in the car, they wanted to go in and give it another shot. And that's just kind of the way it turned out.
Okay, I'll buy that.
He thought he was going to go in there.
And the guy just took it. He just.
Yeah. I don't know if he had a choice.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, she was.
Well, right.
Crazy.
I mean. Right. I mean, but maybe he didn't put up as much of a struggle as he could have either. I don't know. I mean.
She was possessed by Ezekiel.
Yeah. Well, she's possessed by something. I mean, she's female after all.
But it was really cool to get that visual of Ezekiel hanging out with those walkers as his buddies. I mean,
that was cool. Yes,
that was neat.
Did you hear what he said? Kari Payton. Did you hear what he said in Talking Dead? He had no idea the way things were playing out until he was there doing it. The actors on set had no idea what the story was until it played out.
That's cool.
When they were reading it, they didn't have any idea what was going on. They didn't realize it until they actually got there to do the filming of it. What was going on? Yeah.
Yep.
'Cause I remember hearing about that too when I was watching Talking Dead. When I was watching Talking Dead after. So.
I need Talking Dead so bad. When they start screwing with it and putting it on, 2-3 hours later, it just freaking pisses me off so bad.
Oh, you know what? That's the great thing about AMC Plus, because first of all, it all comes out on Thursday. I mean, I still wait till Sunday to watch it, but now it doesn't matter if we get started early or late or whatever. We can go right from Walking Dead. Talking Dead starts up on its own right afterwards.
That's cool.
So it's kind of convenient because I mean, when a couple years back, it's like, oh, Walking Dead comes back, and now we're going to force you to watch Into the Badlands if you want to watch Talking Dead. Fuck you. I didn't. I just didn't watch it, and you never want to watch it the next day. We DVR'd it so many times and then never ended up watching it because if you don't watch it right after the episode, it loses its pertinence.
Right. Well, if you started watching from the beginning, you got used to being part of the live audience that got to participate with the goddamn show.
Yeah.
Then they freaking rip that out of your hands, and you're like, well, what the fuck did I do?
You're being punished now for nothing.
It's exactly how it feels.
Well, I mean, none of it's live now, but I think they stopped doing it live even when it was after the show a few years back when he had all those issues with that
Right.
ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That's when it all stopped.
Excuse me. Sorry. Let's see. I've never been a Talking Dead guy, and am I missing like an integral part of the experience with that?
Not anymore. I don't think.
I don't know.
It's not as big as it used to be.
I have to disagree, Kevin. The live part was cool, but it's not like I called in and got to ask a question. So I don't feel that I'm personally losing out on much there. The good part about that is that immediately after the show, you have a show where they're interviewing actors, writers, producers, whatever, who were involved in that, and they're talking directly about what you just watched, which certainly provides insight that you may not have gotten. It might help explain a few things, and especially when big characters die. I mean, that's kind of like the therapy.
Okay.
I completely agree with everything you're saying, Hugh. And it was the live part, it was the interactive part that I missed the most. But what really hooked me with Talking Dead was I was so invested in the show from the first day I started watching it, that the emotional turmoil of what would happen, what didn't happen, what did happen, what didn't happen, who we lost, where they're going to go next, the way things were left, that emotional turmoil needed an outlet, and that's what the Talking Dead was for me. It was an outlet to say, okay, let's talk this down. And Chris Hardwick really did. He understood that. He understood that from day one, because he understood the fans, because he was a fan. And what he did was he would talk you off the ledge. He'd be like, look, we're here for you. We're here to talk about it. And it was that live connection with other fans, because it wasn't just calling in. It wasn't just participating in the games. There was a side piece. There was a conversation that was happening online at the same time with everyone that was watching the show at the same time you were. And I got involved in that universe. I never read the comic books. And even after the show started, I refused to read the comic books, because this was my story. And I didn't want my story confused with the original story. As good as I knew that comic book was, as much as I'd heard about how great that was, I didn't want the two confused, because I knew there was enough divergence that I needed to just be in the world that I was in. And I got so connected with that and my wife will tell you, that I was outraged when AMC made the change, to the point where I communicated with Chris Hardwick directly through DM, and he basically talked me off the ledge. He said, look, there's nothing we can do about it. This is the way it's going to go, and the reader, the dynamics are changing, etc. Just please stay with it. And he asked me, he's like, just please stay with it. It'll all work out. So I maintain my rage at AMC, but definitely not, at Hardwick and the show and Talking Dead itself. But is Talking Dead great if you're emotionally connected to the show? Yeah. Is it as much needed now to explain things? Yes. To get you down off of that emotional high you might have been on for the show. I don't think that's there anymore. I think a lot of that emotion is gone.
That's interesting.
Which I guess I'm.
I never
It's just me, though.
participated.
That's how I feel.
I never participated in the online community, so I actually have zero knowledge of that. So my experience has been 100% just watching the show. So in that respect, it doesn't feel like a lot's changed, but I completely understand where you're coming from if you were actually live talking with people during the show.
Yeah, it was great to be, with people that were, experiencing and feeling the same things that I was. And it was, it was the whole revelation thing about, this is how people really would be to each other. It's not about the zombies. It's about how people would treat each other like total shit just to get a goddamn energy bar, for Christ's sake. I mean, it was eye-opening. Yes.
And he's not wrong. People are shit, is what it comes down to.
Some people will still be shitty to you for an energy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always have some in the side drawer of my desk if you ever want one, just so you know.
Good to know. Is it under all the Mandalorian figures? Or?
Yeah, under where they are now. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're peanut butter, just so you know.
Oh, see, now you're talking my language. Although I don't know if it fits into my diet now. Still sticking to it, by the way, guys.
Good job.
Yes, I'm down a full 3 pounds. Pants are fitting a lot baggier. Wife's pissed. It's great. Just thought I'd update.
Wait, you want your wife pissed at you? It works out good for you.
I mean, I'm used to it.
Kevin went away.
That's kind of, yeah, he went away and he came back and he's back. We're gonna try and go ahead and get you your Geek Pod logo for next week, Kevin.
Okay.
Or you can have Marvin the Martian.
Yeah, there's that. You can pass that off to you. Hey, it's still green.
Are we gonna get a DMCA takedown for that?
It kind of looks like The Expanse, so I'm good.
Which we talked about last week. It's not in my notes, but I see that the Invincible TV series is on Amazon Prime.
And I am halfway through the first episode.
Okay, I haven't started it yet. I saw it tonight when I was watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
It's basically J.K. Simmons and everyone else from the cast of Walking Dead.
Really?
A bunch of people
Nice.
from the Walking Lenny James, Steven Yeun, and a bunch of people I can't remember. But yeah, so far, I mean, halfway through the episode, it's certainly the art style mirrors the comic. I didn't read the entire run of Invincible. I read the first story, the first arc, which was really good. And I don't know why I didn't pick it up after that. I have no idea. I mean, maybe it was one of those periods where I didn't have the money for comics or whatever. I think it's going to be. It doesn't. I don't want to spoil anything because I don't think you've read it, but
I have not.
It seems like just a regular superhero story so far, but there's some dark stuff. Now we're not talking The Boys dark, but there are some twists. Even in that first story arc, there's some twists that you're not going to see coming and are kind of earth shattering. So it starts off good, but just okay, but goes in a really awesome direction. So definitely give it time.
Now, I don't want to give anything away because I'm peripherally aware of the comics. Let's just say dad issues.
Yeah.
Yep. I want to get started on this one because that's I was really excited to see that. I didn't realize it was out already. So that's going to be one of my next ones. But family wise, I think the next show we're going to pick up, which debuted tonight as of this recording, March 26th, Mighty Ducks Game Changers on Disney Plus. It's a sequel series to the 3 Mighty Ducks movies, and I'm hearing good things already. Emilio Estevez came back as Coach Bombay. Hugh, the look on your face tells me you have no interest in this whatsoever.
Never watched any of those movies.
I remember the first 2 movies. I wasn't even aware there was a third movie, but apparently there were 3 Mighty Ducks movies. And that's right, Corbs, you're a big hockey guy, so these should be up your alley. Am I yes? No?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen the Mighty Ducks movies, all 3 of them. So
Flying V.
Yep, Flying V. I mean, I watched the first two were good. The third one, wasn't a big fan of it. It's not one of the best.
So I plan to do the whole rewatch thing and make the kids watch all 3 of the movies first. Should I stop at 2 or?
No, I wouldn't. You can watch. I mean, is the Game Changers list comes after.
Yeah, it's modern day.
Yeah, so I would watch all 3 of them, so you have the story arc, and then probably go into it.
Now, as I understand it, the original cast, or most of the members of the original cast, do show up at one point in the series.
Oh, wow.
So this is a continuation. This isn't a reboot of any sort.
That'd be tough. Some of them are dead.
Well, I'm assuming those ones that are dead probably aren't going to be in the show.
Cross them up then.
I'm excited for it. Clearly, I'm one of the few, even on the show. I'm just going to say, Kevin, it looks right now that you're looking longingly at me right now.
Always.
Is it because you're reminiscing about breakfast pizza days at work?
I do miss that, actually.
When the COVID stuff happened and we were able to start coming into the office, Kevin and I would arrange to be in the office the same day, and I would bring a breakfast pizza in every week. We would have like breakfast pizza parties.
Oh, so good.
Oh my God, yes.
Just the 2 of you?
Just the 2 of us, yes.
That's creepy.
Yeah, we had a blast. We'd have a lot of fun. There would be a whole lot of Star Wars talk and breakfast pizza and orange juice usually. Yep. Until he caught wind of my whole diabetic thing and he'd stop fucking bringing the juice. Douche.
I tried to bring in better quality beverages.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Beer's not allowed.
I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny if that's already in the fridge in IT. But
root beer doesn't count.
I didn't say it was root beer.
Mm-hmm.
Let me review our notes here. I think that about wraps the show up. What do you guys have got before we finish this up in this extra long episode?
You were going to ask us what we were streaming.
That's where we were, midstream. Did I miss something? What do you got? Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I was just going to say that I finally watched Chernobyl.
Wait a minute. You told us last week you watched Chernobyl.
No, he said he got through some of last week. Last week he got through some of it. He was going to finish.
Oh, I did tell you I started it? Oh,
yeah.
We finished it. It was freaking fantastic.
Did it end the way I thought it would? With the boom?
It
ended the way it ended. I mean,
it wasn't fiction.
It wasn't fiction.
It ended the way we heard.
I learned some stuff I never knew. I can tell you that. One of the main things I learned was that when this was happening is when I was signing up to join the military when I was in high school, and I was in basic training about the time these people were starting to go to court for this shit. So the things you don't know.
Now I have yet to watch that.
It was really good. It was very it's hard. Some of it's hard to watch.
That's why
it's good.
I'm a little behind on all that, except Titans. We're done with Titans.
Well, Chernobyl, Jesus, that was years ago that it came out.
Oh, so good. I cannot wait until July for the new season.
I'm pretty psyched about Titans.
Yes. All right. Anything else, boys?
No.
Not that I can think of.
All right. Then I guess it's time to drop a wisdom nugget.
You drop your nuggets, okay?
Okay. Pro tip. If you don't plan for anything, premeditated will never be used against you in the courtroom. Good night, everybody, and megabyte, you bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.